Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Scorpio gang in late June as we move on into Cancer season? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in mid-June, late June actually, 2026. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have ourselves a good time, my friends. There we go. Cool. Yeah, this energy is not messing around. Okay. Yeah, I've seen her show up for a couple different signs. I think I saw her in the Pisces reading. Now, this isn't the literal Queen of Swords because this isn't a tarot deck, but she just gives me all of those signals that she carries that very strong, no nonsense type of energy. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So we see this older divine feminine figure. She has that big crown of authority, and her face, it doesn't look angry. It doesn't look upset. It doesn't look happy. She just has that neutral look to her where she just seems very much unmoved. And maybe that's what clicks in my mind when I see her and I think of the Queen of Swords. Now, for some of you, could it be an air sign you're connected to? Remember, it's not gender specific, potentially, right? Maybe it's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But these could be energies that Scorpio gang is embodying in this time. And what do I think about with her? Straight in the positive, straightforward to the point. No BS, no fluff. What you see is what you get. You ask a question, you're going to get the answer, whether you like it or not. That's the type of energy that the Queen of Swords holds. So again, I mean, if you're cross-watching for a Scorpio, that might be something you need to know about. I love her honesty. I love her strategic planning, very smart, very intelligent. But the only downside to her is she could have very, very sharp tongue. She could be very mean. Sometimes she could even be calculating. So that's just something to be aware of, right? Like me, even if you're not trying to, like you might hurt someone's feelings, or that's potentially what this could be. But I love the positives more than I dislike the negatives. So we're just going to let her chill out right there. I'm not going to piss her off. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Explosive Action Incoming. And there must be something going on, like with the transits, with the planets, because you're not the only one that's been getting very similar energy, where either it's very active or very reactive. Now, explosive action isn't necessarily bad. When I use that term, to me, it just either is something that intensifies quickly or happens rapidly. So just know in this time, whether it's actions that you take, actions that other people take, there could be an intensity to it, and it could bleed over for a couple weeks. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Scorpio gang. What do we have? Thank you. Cool. 4 cups. Yeah. Cerebral. Very much in its mind. Okay. I mean, that doesn't seem too mean, right? She's just chilling. She's just chilling under the tree. Let's get a couple more. Ace of Swords. Okay. Ace of Swords has a lot of similarities with the Queen. Okay. I mean, there is this little thing between the heart and mind going on. Yeah, there is a lot of energy between the ears, so to speak. There's a lot going on in the noodle. Let's get one more. Let's get one more here. Lady Just. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we got a bonus, and we got the 5 of Wands on the back end, but we have Lady Justice as your bonus, and they came out together. So I'm neutral about this right now, Scorpio. And you know, every week, especially for Scorpio readings, I'm just very blunt and straightforward with how the energy comes out. And I just feel very, very neutral about this. So again, maybe there's certain things or situations you're dealing with. Maybe you're feeling that way. Maybe there's a certain neutrality to your approach. because there is this duality going on too. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy is going to flow. And we have a pretty good mixture this week, right? We have emotions with the cups. We got the water, we got the air, we got the fire, we got a little more air over there. So it's like a whole little vibe happening. And again, it doesn't have to be all the same thing, but to me, there's just this bleed over between all these energies that I really want to take a look at. Now, right here on the front with the water, that is Scorpio's power element, Scorpio's comfort zone, matters of emotion, matters of the heart. So even though the card itself is very cerebral, the element is of emotion, right? Things that we feel. So whether it's partnerships, whether it's situations, there's emotional investment. That's what I always say about the cups. And yeah, it does deal heavily with partnerships. It's very creative, it's very expressive, it's very emotional. The only downside is the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the hots, the colds. So again, watch out for any situations in this time that are in, out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, back and forth, because this energy could get very intense. In the center, we have that logical, pragmatic, straightforward energy we were getting with the queen, right? So we have the heart and the mind happening right here. What my heart tells me and what logic tells me. Now, air energy is strategic, planned out, doesn't involve many emotions, right? It's about facts, it's about information, whether giving or receiving it. That's why it does deal with communication as well. Very straightforward, and we'll get into that in a moment. The downside is that it could be very much an overthinker. It could be an energy that's very much in its head. It could sometimes be that cold, detached, clinical type of energy we were talking about as well. So, as you can see, there's a duality. But with the Ace of Swords in the center, we also have fire on the back end, the realm of action. What do I do from here? What the actions that you take, the actions you want to take, the actions other people take, lack of action, right? Like I usually think of high vibrational energy. Um, it could be health and wellness. It could be energy levels for all we know. The only downside to the fire, I'm sure you could guess it, is the explosiveness, similar to like what we saw last week, similar to what we see often in Scorpio readings, where it's like, okay, this energy could kind of just intensify super quick, then a little more air on the back. So we got a lot of stuff. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Four of Cups, and these two cards are heavily, heavily in the mind. Now, the Four of Cups, we see this little lady, she's sitting underneath the tree. She's just la la la, head in the clouds, nothing wrong with that, but she doesn't see that the universe is handing her a cup, right? She's too busy thinking about these other cups, but doesn't see this other path. So I do say that sometimes this card could represent options coming in, even if we don't see them yet. So that's a good thing. But this is definitely a daydreamer. This is definitely an energy that is in its mind, potentially overthinking, which again doesn't have to be a bad thing. Depending on what clarifies it, could this be like stress, anxiety, nerves? Maybe, especially with the Ace of Swords right next to it. We'll see momentarily, but it's in the mind. I love it for its creative problem solving. I love it for its creative ideas. But we just need to watch out for inaction or somebody overcomplicating or overthinking something. Because that's where we get to the downside of this Four of Cups, where it's like, I think about it so much, but I'm not following through with it. Or it's something that I want to do, it's something that I plan on doing, but am I actually going to follow through with it? That's the vibe. Now, moving to the center, we have the Ace of Swords, right? I love the Ace of Swords. I love all aces. They all represent offers and opportunities. They're a fresh, new type of energy, and they all represent conversations, talks, and messages. This one has a bit of a different complexion, though, right? Like this is very serious, straightforward, to the point. The honesty, similar to what we were seeing with the Queen of Swords. It's called the Sword of Truth for a reason. Now, again, it is also cerebral, where this one's a little more logical. This one's operating off of the heart. This one's operating off of the facts. So we need to keep an eye on this because the rough side of this, it could cut certain things away. And again, it could be harsh. It could be very cold. But there's good stuff with it too. Again, with offers, opportunities, honest conversation. Sometimes the Ace of Swords will show up when there is something that either needs to be taken seriously or is serious. Now, on the back end, the real curveball that we need to take a look at or keep an eye on is this Five of Wands. And this is one of those cards I always say you don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand what it means. We got five people beating the crap out of each other with sticks. They're going to battle. Now, in the good aspect of this card, it could just be determination, right? Like, can't stop, won't stop. I refuse to quit. I don't care how hard something gets. I'm going to stick with this. and that's it. End of discussion. So I love it for that. And that's a big Scorpio trait, right? Like when Scorpio says something, they follow through normally, right? Like I will see this through. It doesn't matter how hard it is. I'm not here to take the easy road. I'll take whatever road, which I like. But obviously, this card could represent aggression, pushiness. It is an action card, but sometimes it could be too quick to act. It could be an energy that acts before it thinks sometimes too. Could be anger, someone being mad. That's very possible, especially with all like this energy brewing here in the front. It's like all the pressure is building. So that's what I really want to see. Like, is this a problem back here, or is this going to be a good resolution? Then here for your bonus, you have Lady Justice. I always say watch out for any legal situations. Watch out for anything contractual when Lady Justice shows up. Normally she's that nice, calm, center, even balanced, even keeled type of energy if you're not connected to a Libra. So if that's kind of what you're doing, just letting things balance out, letting things, weigh themselves out, that could be a good approach where you don't have to force anything. But we have a lot of stuff happening here, Scorpio. We're going to put her down right there. Uh, I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio gang, please? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your based knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Four Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Four Cups in the mix? Why is that Four Cups here? It's a little pessimistic here. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. It's like one of those. I'm not sure if this is you or somebody else, but it feels very moody to me. And it doesn't feel like anger like I have here on the back end, but it's like, I'm not talking to you. I don't know what that is. It's like I'm turning my nose up at something. So that's very unique. Now the ace, there's like a little pessimism here too. Okay, so the Ace of Cups is very similar to the Ace of Swords, right? Fresh, new opportunities, offers, conversations, talks, and messages, right? Could also represent someone's emotional state. So when I see the Ace of Cups flipped up in reverse underneath this Four of Cups, either there is something I am not too happy about, there is something where it's like, yeah, no, I'm not happy about this thing, or it's like, I'm not talking to you, where it's like, no, nope, no thanks. It's like one of those. So just watch out for any individuals that are really difficult to speak to, because to me it's that, no, no, not right now. And we're just going to have to see how the energy flows from here, because it does feel like a bit of stonewalling. Now, I'm not sure if that's you or somebody else, or if something that's going to pop up, but that's just the vibe I'm getting here. In the and now let's get back to Kyle of Cups style, and let's be the most optimistic possible with this. With the Four of Cups, Ace of Cups in reverse underneath it, this could also be somebody just trying to bring themselves back to center, trying to get themselves back to a balanced spot. So maybe that's something someone's doing, right? In the most optimistic, we're going to keep going. We're going to see what's up with the Ace of Swords. Yeah, I'd watch out for communication issues, that's for sure. So why is the Ace of Swords here? I really want to get to that Five of Wands now too. Okay. All right. So we got the Tower in the upright underneath this Ace of Swords. And listen, in a Scorpio reading, I always say the Tower has a totally different vibe to it, at least in my opinion. Speaking as someone with Scorpio placements, if this was another sign, I'd be like, oh, that's a shocking talk. That's a shocking conversation. Or at least one that's like pressured, where it's like, no, you're not going to ignore me. We're going to talk about this. But there is a seriousness to this, Scorpio, right? Like now the Tower, yes, it represents shock, upheaval, endings, all that kind of stuff. So when I see it in the upright underneath the Ace of Swords, it's like either an energy that is either serious, where it's like either having a serious talk or conversation. I want to have one. So like you could be mad for a little while, but we are going to talk about this at some point, whether you like it or you don't. Or this is an energy where it's like, okay, you don't want to talk to me. All right, I'm going to bring this tower and I'm going to blow the whole thing up. I don't know why that's there, but we're just going to keep going. It is what it is. So again, watch out for serious situations. Watch out for the serious talks, because I think that might be part of it. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, well, you don't want to talk to me. We're talking about it. like one way or another. There's something like that here where it's like, yeah, no, this will be addressed. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna see what the Five of Wands has. That's intense. It's very intense. That's why I'm saying it could be either a serious talk or situation in the center, because the energy to me is just super intense. Maybe it is a shocking talk. That's possible. Maybe this energy turns its brown upside down, or maybe this energy goes from this to this. But let's see what the Five of Wands has. Then we'll do a recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Five of Wands here? Okay. All right, so we have the Six of Swords in reverse underneath this Five of Wands. This energy feels upset. This energy does feel upset. And again, I'm not sure if it's you or somebody else. And listen, I can empathize as someone with Scorpio placements. We don't have the shortest memories, right? A lot of times when certain things happen, we could hold on to it for a little while where it's like, okay, well, we're not talking about it right now, but we will address it. It's like one of those that I'm picking up here where it's like, okay, we'll put it on the shelf for now, but we will circle back on this. That's one of those things. So the Six of Swords, I don't know why it feels like someone's like angry, pissed, or mad here. Now, again, watch the temper in this time, my fellow Scorpions, right? Like, because with this buildup of energy, like if someone's invading your space or pressuring you too hard, like there could be a lash out here. Or if something is pressured too much, there could be a lashing of energy. That's just how it feels to me. Um, Six of Swords is usually letting things calm down when it's in the upright, right? Smooth sailing coming out of choppy waters into the calm. When it shows up in reverse underneath the Five of Wands, I'm sure you could guess what it is. The waters are getting choppy again. So the main things to me here is either one, this is someone that is like a little pissed, angry, upset, mad, whatever it is, or this is saying, all right, if you don't want to talk about it right now, we will address it at some point, right? Because this is an energy that returns, right? So to me, it does feel like it could be some unfinished business or an unfinished situation, where it's like, okay, well, I won't forget it, but we will handle it at some point. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. Very very unique how this reading went along, Scorpio. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start kind of calm, right? We have the Four of Cups with the Ace of Cups in reverse, and the energy to me is like I'm not talking to you. I'm going to ignore you. It's like one of those, and I don't know. It doesn't like upset me, but I don't know. The energy is a little funky. I did say in its most positive mindset, maybe it is someone just trying to get themselves back to center. But then this energy comes in. We have the Ace of Swords with the Tower. Boom. Whether this is a serious talk or conversation, I don't want to say it's a shocking talk, but it's like the energy changes from this to this. So I would say watch out in this time. There is an intensity around it. Moving to the back end, we have the Five of Wands with the Six of Swords in reverse. And this does feel like someone that's a little pissed or angry or mad, whatever label we want to put on it. But it was also giving me a vibe of like, all right, well, you could sit and think about it. You could not talk for right now, but we will address this at some point. Like, this is something that will be addressed one way or another. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you, something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. Let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. Yeah, I don't know why that energy feels so aggressive on the back end, or it's like bringing up the past too. Like, that's another thing. Okay. So we have the strength card, the energy of restraint, which could be really important. Now, I love strength, Leo energy here. So if you're connected to Leo, they might be showing up here in the shadows. But strength to me represents someone's character, who they are on the inside. Yes, it could also represent refraining, restraining from something, which is really important. But it is usually who someone is at their core, at the core level. So I think it's great. It is also a spiritual, karmic type of card as well. It's very angelic. So strength in the shadows absolutely does feel like protection of some kind. However, with that being said, this showing up in the shadows, there's either something that is going to really test your restraint, or maybe there's something that already is, where it's like, this is really testing my patience. This is really testing my restraint here. So with everything we saw in the main part of the reading, and now what we're seeing back here just now, maybe restraint is the best road. with whatever it is you're dealing with. That's very possible when this shows up as a shadow card. Now, if there are certain things you've been trying to hold back from doing, this could say like, hey, there might be a little bleed through, right? Like if let's say you were trying to quit something or quit a habit, you might break for a day and then like get back on the horse. Just watch out for stuff like that. There's something here about refraining or restraint. So please take a screenshot of that too if you wanted to look it up. Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.